Another really cool feature I like about this garage door opener is that it includes this power door lock, and it's just like a second layer of security. When the door goes down, I guess that logic controller knows that the door's down, and it'll engage this door lock. What it'll do essentially, I guess, is as you try to lift the door, the wheel will eventually, engage that deadbolt right there, and you won't be able to open it. So where I'm going to mount mine, you'll be able to lift that door maybe 3 inches, and then that wheel will grab it and you won't be able to open it anymore. So it ought to be pretty easy to put on. They give you a nice little template, and there's 2 mounting screws that'll go in each of these holes right here, and you drill those with a 5/16 inch drill bit. They say to drill a 3/4 inch hole for that deadbolt. I don't have a 3/4 inch bit. That's not 3/4 inch. I'm going to drill it half. See what happens. I think that'll probably be fine. If that doesn't work, I'll just persuade it a little bit with a Dremel or something. So let's go ahead and do that. Now we'll just mount this thing into place. I went ahead and engaged the deadbolt to help it get lined up a little bit. This is one of those, if you had about 3 more hands, would be pretty helpful. Looks good. This is the wire that goes to that power door lock. It's got a little connector on the end. This is going to be kind of hard to show you on the video, but the instruction book is really clear on how to do this. There's a little space right here. You can kind of run it up in behind it, and there's a place that has 2 pins on it, and that connector just slips over those 2 pins. And it'll only go in one way, and that's all there is to it. Now what I'll do now is I'll come in, they supply some of these staples, and I'll just come in here and tidy this wire up a little bit and make it look really neat and professional looking, and we'll be done with this part. Now the next thing we got to fool with is this little cable tension monitor. And this seems like it's a pretty important component, so we want to get it right. And really what this does is it just, as that door goes up and down, this thing, the cable that's raising the door rides on this little roller right here. And this thing has a switch inside that tells that opener when to stop and when to stop, I guess. So that looks pretty important. What we have to do is come down between 2 and 6 inches from the bottom of this wheel right here. And just come down. It's got these little mounting holes and a couple of lag bolts that will go in there. I've already marked it and drilled a couple of pilot holes, so all I got to do is put it in place. I don't know if you can see it or not, but that cable is behind this little idler wheel right here. Okay, that part's done. I think we have to wire it up now. Again, this is going to be kind of hard to show you on the video, but all you do is just bring your wire around from this tension monitor. And these are white green wires, and there are 2 posts that these go into. The directions are really straightforward, so sorry I can't get a close-up, but it won't be hard to figure out. On these posts, there's this little unit that you kind of push in that lets you get the wire in there, and then once you get the wire in there, you let it off and it'll stay secure. Okay, then at that point just clean your wires up and we're on to whatever's next. For now I'm just going to mount this door switch right here. When I get the other 2 doors and openers installed, I'll probably move all of them to one place, but for now I'm just going to do it right here and be done with it. It's just right below the garage door opener, so it won't be too bad. Take the switch, go ahead and there's a red and white wire. Just go ahead and hook your wires in. There's a little unit right here that I've already started a screw in. That'll just slip into that. And then there's another place for a screw to run in at the top. Okay, it's pretty good right there. You know, somebody might say, well, somebody could slip a shim in behind your door and, ooh, you know, but there's a bracket right here. So if somebody can get a shim in just right and wiggle it around and be able to hit this control, then good for them, but I don't think it's going to happen. Like I said, eventually I'll relocate all these switches to the other wall over here and it'll be good to go. So let's go ahead and wire this thing up. Again, it's a little hard to show you on the video, but the instructions are really clear and the posts are really, you know, evident. We're just going to take the red or the red-white wire. There's a red post, and then the post right next to it is where the white wire goes in. Same thing, just kind of push down on that little lever thing, push your wires up in there. That's all there is to it. Another really neat feature of this Liftmaster 8500 that I like a lot is, you know, most traditional garage door openers have that motor that sits in the middle of the bay and has a light in it. Well, since this motor is against the wall, that wouldn't make a lot of sense, so they have this remote light. And basically, you know, it plugs in, which is good because I've got an outlet there, but somehow or another, the garage door opener sends a signal and tells this thing to cut on. So there's nothing to putting this up. It's just a couple of screws. I'll just go up there and find one of my trusses and put a screw in that. And then of course I won't be able to hit another truss, so I'll have to get one of those drywall anchors. But anyway, it won't be a big deal. So I'll just go ahead and slap this thing up and have that much done. We're about ready to give this sweetheart a try. We're almost finished with everything as far as the installation goes. The last thing we have to do is put these little safety beams in here, these little photoelectric eyes or whatever. There's one on each side. They shine at each other. I don't know how they work, but if the beam is interrupted, it'll stop the door so you don't get up under there and get crushed or something. They're made to mount a variety of ways. You can mount them to the wall. Wouldn't work for me. I'd have to come in here with some 2x4s and block it out if I wanted to do that. You can mount them on the floor. I don't want to do that. The coolest thing is you can just use that little spring hinge there to just put it on the track. So I'm going to come up about where the one on the other side is. That right there. And I'm just going to Quahitas this thing on there. And that's really good and secure. And that looks pretty good. So next we'll put this unit on. This little bolt that goes back in here, a little carriage bolt. And this thing actually comes inside it. And just a little wing nut that'll tighten it up. Now we just got to pull this wire up to the controller or to the unit up there and get it all wired up, and I believe we're about ready to throw some power on it. Okay, so I finished this up last night and I came out today and you know, kind of cleaned the wiring up, made it look neat and pretty and all that kind of stuff. At that point, there's only a couple things left to do, and what you have to do is you have to kind of tell that opener, kind of program it so it knows how far to open that door. So adjust the travel on it. It's really easy to do. The instructions are really straightforward. You just basically, you know, put it into programming mode, and there's a button on that motor or on the controller up there, and you hold that button and it'll lift the door up. And when you get the door to where you want it to be, you let off the button and it remembers, okay, this is where I stop when I go into the open function. I almost had a huge disaster that was my fault. I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing, and I forced that door to open too far. And over there on that roller where that cable wraps around that roller as it's opening, I got it back there too far and that cable slipped off and the door got all jacked up, and it was almost a disaster, but it was my fault. I got it fixed. I just wasn't paying attention to what I was doing. So, got everything back together and, dodged a bullet and pulled a rabbit out of the hat with that one, but it's fine now. So you have to do that. And then the other thing you have to do is adjust kind of the downforce that door exerts when it gets to the bottom and closes. So you just calibrate that. It's real easy to do. And then, check your safety sensors, make sure they're working. And that's about it. I mean, there's really not that much more to it. And, it was fine. So let me go open this door and I want you to listen real close how quiet this thing is. Any noise you're hearing is from that spring up there. I need to put some lube or something on it because it's getting, kind of twisted up and making a little bit of rattle. But the opener itself, man, that thing is so quiet. I love it. It's really nice. Let me put it back down and listen. When it gets to the bottom, you'll hear that lock, that deadbolt engage. I like that feature a lot. I mean, that thing is whisper quiet. I love it. When it gets to the bottom, you'll hear the deadbolt engage over here. It's a really nice garage door opener. Last thing I did was I hooked up that little internet gateway module that I had, and there was nothing to that. You just plug it in, get power on it, and then Cat5 it into your router or into your network, and go online and set up an account with Liftmaster, and go download the app for your phone. Really no setup involved. It was pretty easy. I did notice though, as I was reading through their website, you may want to check because apparently some routers are not compatible with that device. So you may want to check and make sure yours is not on that list. But I don't know. It's pretty cool. I know it's stupid, but I just kind of like the idea of being able to open my garage door from Thailand. So anyhow, that was easy. I spent about 4 hours on this project only because I've never done it before, and I was being really careful, just going step by step through the instructions. I think the next one I put up will probably only take me a couple hours. Either way, it wasn't like 4 really hard hours. This was really pretty easy to do, and this project I would have no reservation at all about encouraging anybody that's the least little bit handy to do it themselves, because I'd never done one before till yesterday. So I think you can do this on your own, save a little money and get some satisfaction of doing it yourself. So great project. Glad it's done. I'll start putting some more up over the next few weeks as I save a little money. So hope you enjoyed the video and maybe learned something and maybe worked up the courage to do it yourself. Remember, if you like the video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and leave me some comments. Thanks for watching.